We were 100% committed to bringing justice for Quentin.
A big question in the case is, how did Quentin die? And do police believe the toddler was dead before his body was put into that dumpster? That will remain a question for now. Chatham County's police chief said that was something he wasn't ready to talk about.
Understandable. And joining me live, Brett Buffington, now lead investigative reporter at WSAV. He's been covering Quentin's disappearance since the very beginning. Brett, thank you. I wish it were under different circumstances. As I said a moment ago, this is what we had feared. But the relentless effort in that landfill to find this little boy, it was evident in the emotion that was expressed by the police chief as he relayed that news.
Oh, absolutely, Marty. In fact, police, when they announced this landfill search, back October 18th, I believe it was, they were emotional that day. They put up a giant picture of Quentin Simon in that command center that day, a picture that eventually moved to the landfill itself and was taped to the back of a trailer. There were some 100 people working this case, including FBI agents from across the country. It had to be some kind of relief for them on Friday when they made this discovery. Of course, those remains quickly taken to the FBI's crime lab in Quantico, Virginia. They do believe that they are human. There will be additional testing. Those results could be back as early as this Friday. But the police chief obviously has something very certain in his case here, and he's holding this case very close to his vest that has him to believe that they are likely Quentin Simons.
Yeah, the police chief, Brett, saying that he doesn't believe that Leilani, the mother, should deserve a Thanksgiving that Quentin does. It is just heartbreaking. What else did he share about the circumstances of her arrest, where and when it happened?
We know she was picked up from her home and taken to the Chatham County Detention Center. That happened just as they were making that arrest or making that announcement on yesterday. They told us that they didn't want anyone to have any exclusives in this case. They would release this to every affiliate here in Savannah at the same time. And they kept their word to that. I can tell you that they called the news directors and they gave us a heads up that there was an announcement coming. They made that announcement. And we know that she was quickly booked into the Chatham County Jail. She was supposed to have a bond hearing this afternoon. She's being held right now on charges that include murder, lying to police, filing a false police report, and one more. But she won't be having that bond hearing this afternoon. We understand that that has been moved to sometime tomorrow morning.
Brett, did they indicate that there could be more arrests in this case? Any others who had possible involvement in the cover-up of this heinous and horrific crime?
So, Marty, we're talking about 50 days since, almost 50 days since October 5th when Quentin was last seen and yesterday's arrest. There has been so much speculation about who could be involved. Of course, Leilani Simon's boyfriend, according to the story that Leilani told police, he was the last person to see Quentin in that packing play on October 5th. Police yesterday told us that Leilani Simon, as they had previously announced, remains their one and only suspect. And at this point, they aren't looking into anyone else.
Police did say that they aren't going to release, at least at this point, how Quentin died. But did they give any indication as to a possible motive, as to a why this would have happened?
So obviously that's the biggest question that remains in this case. Of course, the biggest one was, where is Quentin? We now believe we know that answer. The toddler's body believed to have been found in that landfill. The second biggest question is, how did Quentin die? I asked the police chief that question yesterday during his media briefing, and he told me that's just something that he can't talk about right now. And then I followed up with, is there anything to make you believe that this was an accident? And then there was just the act of it being covered up. The police chief also told me that right now he won't be able to talk about that. His evidence in this case, including like where the dumpster was that they believe Quentin's body was in, they wouldn't tell us where that is. There's so much. They won't even tell us exactly how much trash they had to go through or an estimate of it. There's so much in this case that we don't have the answers to. And that's likely just because the investigators here are trying to make sure that there are so many important details that are saved for the day that obviously now we know Leilani Simon will face a judge.
And Quentin was not an only child. Leilani has other kids. Where are they right now? Who's caring for them?
We understand that they are in the custody of the state. Of course, just after the search for Quentin began, we know that there was a family court hearing here in Georgia. Those records are sealed. We've asked for them. We've asked what happened with the other children. We do know that we haven't seen them, as we've seen this family out in front of their home. Those other children haven't been there for some time. We understand that they are in the care of the Department of Family and Children's Services.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget.
All right, guys. So there you have it. Look, Leilani finally, guys, finally. And they say that they actually have found Quentin Simon. It's just a matter of time before they come forward and they actually say, like, hey, it was 100% Quentin Simon that we found. And of course, it was remains, guys. He's in the landfill, trash truck, put it all together. And so, but anyways, guys, Patricia, how's it going? Isaac, how's it going? Going to your sisters. Yes. Thanksgiving's what? That's what is today's date even? I'm lost. So what, 2 days away? Yes. So I got to put up a Christmas tree in a little bit too. So I finally bought me a Christmas tree, guys. So let's see here. Dean Matheny says, hey, what is up, Dean Matheny? Rose, hey, thanks for sharing this. You're very welcome. So Lola, hi, how's it going, Lola? Of course, guys, you know, we go on, and the mom of Leilani actually took her out to lunch before they turned her over, guys. Now, I want to ask you a question. If you was Leilani's mom, knowing that she basically something happened to your grandson and she was actually charged with that, would you take her out to dinner, your daughter? I would not, 100%. I would take her straight to jail where she belongs and where she belongs for a very long time, guys. And that's just my thought, my opinion. So good. I'm glad everybody's doing good. So yeah, this is kind of an early stream for me. So let's go on to look for something else here. Let's go to let's do this together. What do we want to look at? Let's look up see if there's any new leads in the dang, that's loud. See if there's any new leads in the for college students. Where's that at? Killed. So let's go on to here. This is 4 days ago, 2 days ago, 18 hours ago, 21 hours, 6 days, 4 days, 4 hours ago. Let's look at this one. Pressure law enforcement mounts an Idaho murder. So here we go.
Now to growing unease after the murders of those 4 University of Idaho students more than a week later. Police have not identified a suspect or found a murder weapon. Kana Whitworth is in Moscow, Idaho, with more details for us. Good morning, Kana.
Yeah, Robin, good morning. More and more we're hearing from people in town that are on edge right now, but authorities say they should report anything suspicious or even just out of the ordinary as they put these pieces together. Now, detectives were back out at the house. They were walking the crime scene, and they say at this point the dynamics and layout of this home are crucial to their investigation.
This morning, growing fears as authorities chase down leads in the desperate search for the killer who murdered 4 college students at the University of Idaho.
Detectives are actively working this case, and so we're moving forward.
The community on edge, but with more information, detectives revisiting the crime scene, piecing together potential clues.
As time's going by, it's feeling a little uncertain in the more news reports that come out. Just, being cautious and just kind of keeping an eye on where I'm going and what I'm doing.
Overnight, Ethan Chapin, the oldest of triplets, the first victim to be memorialized. His mother emotional as she spoke about her son.
We're here to honor the life and legacy of our son and brother, Ethan Chapin, one of the most incredible people you'll ever know.
His family grateful for the support from loved ones and strangers.
Your outreach and kind words are profoundly touching.
As the mystery deepens, authorities revealing 2 surviving roommates arrived home that night before the victims and were likely sleeping at the time of the attack.
What I can say is that the roommates who survived, they were in the basement throughout the night.
They awakened several hours later, summoning friends when one of their roommates was unresponsive. Officers arriving on scene, locating the victims, and this morning saying Kaylee Gonzalez's dog was also found unharmed at the home. That dog, seen in this TikTok video taken just weeks ago, showing Kaylee, Madison, and Shanna inside the house.
There's no forced entry and there's no dog barking. Do we think it was someone that they knew?
We don't know if the dog was barking or not, so that's part of the ongoing investigation to figure out kind of what occurred. It would be difficult to speculate whether or not it was a known suspect or a total stranger.
The coroner revealing that while Kaylee, Madison Mogan, Shanna Kernodle, and Chapin were also likely asleep at the time of the attack, there was evidence of defensive wounds. DNA samples are being tested by the state lab now. Police say evidence shows the students may have been targeted, but investigators are not elaborating.
And still, authorities have not narrowed down any specific detail or motive. What they have said is they searched the dumpsters around this home and found nothing. So
if we look at this house, guys, here's the back door. So you have to have a key or a code to get in this back door, okay? Around the front of the house is actually wooded area. So it's 3 stories. So now they're saying that the 2 survivors was in the basement, which was the first story. Then you have the second story. Then you have the 3rd story up here, guys. So my belief is the sliding glass doors was unlocked, and that's how they entered, was from the other side of the house. They came in, and as you know, the layout, as you come inside the house, the sliding glass doors, you come inside, here's the front room. Here's a set of stairs that leads up this way. You come through, there's a bathroom, and then there's the bedroom. So this killer had to know who he was after and got there, then walked up the stairs and got these 2 people. But the survivors was actually down in the basement of this house. So it was said that they was partying. So how many people was actually there at that time? Because if they was partying, you go to tell me no one heard anything up here, screaming, anything. I call bullshit. Someone had to have heard something. That's just all there is to it. But anyways, guys, let's go on and see what she has to say.
they will continue to pursue any leads, Robin, because they are doing everything they can to get these families justice.
Absolutely, Kana. Thanks so much. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great.
It's absolutely crazy, guys. There was 4 people brutally murdered. 2 people in the basement survived. There was partying going on, and it was said that the 2 people that survived wasn't the only ones that seen the people unconscious on the 2nd floor and 3rd floor. So there was other people in the house at the time this happened also. So they say. So Long Gone says, Chris Robin says, hello, Bare Bones. What is up, bro? Agree. Yes, I agree. I think there was more than one killer also behind all this whole situation too. Long Gone says, I believe they were hiding in the closet, but they knew. Yeah, the cops know something, guys, and they're just not letting it free. They're not saying what they actually know. So it's just like the Quentin Simon. They had Leilani actually, kind of as not a flight risk because they didn't want to actually let her know that what they was going to be doing to her. So that's the reason why they kind of stood back in the shadows and just kind of watched her, what she was doing. They knew they would actually charge her with something. So they knew from the beginning what actually happened. Just like I think they found Quentin Simon's remains probably a week ago, guys, if not more. So Long Gone says, I think there were 2 killers. I do too, 100%. I think there was 2 killers behind this. So yes, very much so. Anyways, let's go on to see what else we could find. Let's see what's up with Michael Vaughn case. Michael Vaughn, 20 hours ago, 6 days ago, 1 day ago, 1 year ago. It's hard to believe it's been a year and a half, guys. Let's go on to look at
Back here now, crews are back at a home in Fruitland continuing their search for Michael Vaughn. Investigators have been excavating the yard of a house that's only about a 4-minute drive from the Vaughn home. Police believe Michael's remains are there. Michael disappeared from his neighborhood in July of 2021. We'll be sure to update you when we learn more about what investigators discover. And many of you have reached out asking how to help the Vaughn family. So friends of the Vaughn family have put together a few ways the community can send love and support to the parents and siblings of little Michael. There's a meal train for the Vaughns and an Amazon holiday wish list. You can find all that information online at the link on your screen right now. It's findmichaelvaughn.com/holiday-help. Also in this case, today a judge ruled the woman charged in connection to the disappearance of Michael Vaughn is mentally unfit to proceed in the case. The judge says 35-year-old Sarah Wandra is not able to help in her own defense.
And see, guys, we knew that was going to happen. We knew how she was playing when she first got there. She was playing like she was mentally unstable. We called that. We called it from the beginning. So now what is it going to be? Are they going to be less harsh on her? I mean, that's some stuff to think about. Is she not going to do as much time because she's playing mentally? She was mentally, handicapped, I guess what I'm going to say it. The reason why what she did, hit a body of a little boy. That's just crazy, guys. Blessed Bumblebee. Hold on, I believe it was them. No dog bark. No dog was barking in their house of the 4 college students. None. But the dog was there too. Makes absolutely no sense, guys. I believe there was 2 people. They knew what they was going into of the 4 college students, and they brutally murdered them. The 2 downstairs go on to say they didn't hear anything, but there was also partying going on in the house too, so they say. Just crazy. Blessed Bumblebee, sorry, long gone. Blessed Bumblebee, I believe dog was put in a closet while it was going on. It's crazy, guys. I mean, there's some questions that everybody has that we'll never even know. Because they actually thought the dog got killed in this attack too, until they went on to actually find out it did not. But they also go to say that in the 4 college students, did the dog know the people that actually come in? Was some of the people that was downstairs with the 2 survivors that went upstairs of the 4 college students, could they have been the killers? They was already in the house. There's all kinds of stuff that could be actually looked at on that part. Bless Bumblebee, I think you're giving too much credit to that closet. Yeah, I don't know about the dog being in a closet. I have no idea about that. So, anyways, guys, let's continue with the Michael Vaughn thing.
She faces a charge of failure to report a death. Under Idaho law, she cannot go to trial if she is not mentally fit to do so. The preliminary hearing was supposed to be tomorrow, but that's been postponed until Friday, December 23rd. Wandra is being transferred to custody of the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare for treatment. The commitment order is in effect for up to 90 days.
Wow. Okay. Well, and we know that she had another court hearing too, guys. So, I mean, we know that also. So, I mean, let's see what else we can find here. Long Gone says, I think the news and police aren't releasing all the information because it would make the other two roommates a target now. If the killer think they saw them and could identify them. Yeah, you think so, but it makes me wonder if the two killers wasn't actually downstairs with the survivors, because now they're saying the survivors was actually in the basement of the house. Before they said the survivors wasn't even home. It's crazy. It makes you wonder if they wasn't partying already in that house and just decided to carry out what they had planned, if that makes sense. Barbie, what is up, Barbie? Hey, I missed the live last night. I was reply crew last night. Missed you all. Yes, we missed you too, actually. So yeah, it's all hello deuces in chat. What is up, Sindra? What is up? So yeah, it makes you wonder if, you know, the people wasn't already downstairs partying at that time, guys. So if there was people downstairs at the four college students partying in the basement, which was said that that's where the two survivors was at now, it's very easily said that that's how they got in the house. That's how the dog didn't bark. That's how, because they knew all the people. But do you think of the DNA that's already spread through this partying house, guys? There's a lot of DNA in this house. A lot. It's a party house. So it is crazy, guys. Let's move on to a different one. Let's watch another one. New details.
We're going to turn to the latest on the urgent manhunt for a suspect in the murder of those 4 college students in Idaho. Police now say all 4 victims may have been asleep at the time of the attack. Kana Whitworth is there for us in Moscow, Idaho, with more. Good morning, Kana.
Yeah, Robin, good morning. Authorities tell me the other 2 roommates who survived were also likely asleep, but that they were in the basement. And when they woke up, they thought a roommate had passed out, initially calling friends over, who discovered a much more sinister scene.
This morning, police in Moscow, Idaho, revealing for the first time that before a 911 call was made, the 2 surviving roommates of a deadly rampage that killed 4 students summoned friends to the off-campus home, telling authorities they thought someone on the second floor had, quote, passed out and was not waking up.
What I do know is that they woke up later in the morning. They recognized that something was amiss as far as they believed that the roommate wouldn't wake up. They called some friends. The friends came over. They called 911, and that's when the officers arrived.
Police say multiple people spoke with the 911 dispatcher before an officer arrived.
You have victims with multiple stab wounds. How does that translate to my roommate's passed out and won't wake up?
So I haven't seen the scene, and I'm not exactly sure what they saw in the morning. But what we believe we know is that when they woke up, they believed that the roommate was still passed out, wasn't responding, and they
Wasn't
called some
responding
friends.
to what?
I'm not sure.
Detectives do not believe anyone at the scene was involved in the crime. This TikTok from inside the home showing all of the roommates together just weeks before. The survivors' faces blurred because police haven't released their identities yet. As the search for the killer intensifies, authorities say they're targeting certain neighborhoods, looking for surveillance video and any new evidence.
We're looking everywhere.
Frantic for answers, Kernatel's brother going door to door with flyers asking neighbors to search their...
Okay, so let's pause it right there, guys. So so the girl's done TikTok videos inside the house. We know this. What does it say? We're killing. So weed is. Okay, that has nothing to do with what we're doing, but okay. So as far as the killers go, inside this house, guys, we have 4 people brutally stabbed. that goes to show you when you do TikTok videos, don't show your home. Don't show the layout of your home, because there is people who actually go and kill people because they get obsessed with them. They won't meet them. There's all kinds of stuff. The reason why you don't want to show the inside your home, guys. Always record in one room and one room only. And if you do show another room, show the wall. Don't show windows. Don't show stairs. See, the girls went on to show the stairs up, into the other bedrooms and everything else. So, I mean, let's read some. Amanda Rose says the two people could have been passed out and drunk, and they could have been. But the other news place said that they was actually awake partying with other people in the basement. That's whenever they found them unconscious. So the other people from the downstairs in the basement came up with them and seen what they seen as well. They called the cops. It said the people was unconscious. But you know good and well, the brutal stabbing as there is, guys, it's probably all over the wall, all over the covers. It's just what it is. It's a crime scene, guys. I mean, it goes on to say that the last thrust was actually in their chest. So yes, it was very bloody, guys. They go on to say, Moscow goes on to say that the police department goes on to say it's one of the worst crime scenes that they've seen in most of their careers. So yes, it was very bloody. Amanda says there's got to be blood DNA somewhere from the killer. There has to be. You would think there would be. Or killers, exactly. I think there was two. And Amanda, yes, I believe there was going to find a lot of DNA and processing. I hope so, because they're actually processing DNA as we speak right now, trying to find the killer still, guys. So, Amanda, yes, long gone. I love knives. I'm a collector, so I know there has to be a cut on the killer. There has to be something, guys. So, Long Gone says, Amanda, I collect knives too. No way could they have done all that stabbing and not cut themselves. Guys, it hasn't said how many stabbings there was, but there was so much blood it was leaking out the foundation of the home, out the walls. I mean, they said that. So it was a very gruesome crime scene, guys. And they're putting this up against Bundy. The Bundy killings. I can't believe we're going on a week now and we have no killer in jail. None. That's bothersome. Sandra says, I am still confused on how the roommates did not see any blood. I feel the authorities aren't being totally upfront, which they don't need to be in an active investigation with a possible killer. 100% correct. Because what they're going to do is they're going to set back and they're going to say they don't have no leads, and they do have leads. They have to have leads, guys. They're the cops, right? They have to have something. And if they don't, then maybe they need to go back to school. So, or maybe they need to call in the FBI or something like that, guys. Let's go on to this. Totally 100% agree, Amanda. 4 people died in Oklahoma too. Yes. Are you talking about the ones that was actually found? Their body remains was found. I do believe that's what you're talking about. Barbie at Sandra, this was, I don't understand, much blood just for one person, let one force, so 911 call make no sense. It doesn't make any sense. You have 4 people brutally stabbed. And you're going to say they're unconscious. But the people downstairs in the basement heard nothing, but they literally, the people on the second floor are sleeping basically on the floor that they're underneath. You know how it is, guys. When you're in a 2-story, 3-story home, you always hear the next level. So there had to have been some kind of thumping, wrestling around. They said that multiple of them actually tried to fight off the killer. So there had to have been some kind of wrestling around, right? You would have think you're going to hear someone scream. guys, I don't know how it works, but I don't think you're going to sleep through being brutally stabbed. It just doesn't happen. Anyways, guys, let's go on. Sandra says, Barbie, hello. The one victim had defensive wounds, so they can't get DNA from underneath the fingernails. 100% true. It's crazy. Find the pics of the blood coming out of the foundation. Crazy, insane. It is insane. It is insane. Barbie says, yeah, cause of how Bundy went in and murdered those college students. I don't know if it's true that some dog had been killed and skinned before kidnapped. I heard that too. I don't know if it is. I haven't actually, heard it, seen any proof of that. So I'm not sure that yet. I've been looking. I still can't find anything about that, guys. Grammy says, revealed Donna just did a reading on this case. It was I'm not sure that word, guys. Phenomenal. Okay, so yes, I think it was jealousy. I think it was a lot to do with jealousy, guys. Plain and simple. Let's move on. Rose, I heard that too. Bundy and a cow. I heard that too. Barbie and a cow. Okay, I may be missing something here, guys. Let's go ahead and move forward. Let's go ahead and start this video. Continue with this video.
Properties.
This is a horrible thing that's happened, and somebody needs to be brought to justice.
Meanwhile, Gonzalez's sister has been poring over phone records saying Kaylee made several calls to her longtime boyfriend the night she was killed. The calls went unanswered between 2:26 and 2:52 a.m.
I know for an absolute fact that he is not a suspect. He is not suspicious. He is 100% innocent in this.
And this morning, police confirming he is not a suspect, but they're still asking this tight-knit community for information.
And right now, authorities have conducted 90 interviews. They're chasing over 700 leads. But of course, all of this is happening, Robin, as Ethan's family is laying him to rest today.
All right, Kana, thank you so much. We're going to bring in ABC News contributor, former FBI agent Brad Garrett. And Brad, we heard in Kana's report, the police releasing those chilling new details. 2 victims were on the 2nd floor, 2 on the 3rd floor. All 4 are now believed to have been asleep at the time. The 2 roommates that were in the house in the basement. What does all this tell you, Brad?
So it tells me that someone came into the house with a comfort level, that they probably knew the layout of the house. And I tell you what this new information, Robin, really sort of changes my analysis or profile of maybe who did this. And the reason why is that if you have basically 4 people killed on 2 different floors and the roommates go up and really don't realize that they've been stabbed, does that mean that the killer is actually staged? Did he cover them up in such a way that they didn't see the blood? And so as a result, is this a person maybe a little older? Think about how much time it would take to go to 4 different people and to kill them in the manner in which they were killed. So what bothers me is that the circle of people that may have committed this, you may have to make bigger. You obviously look for people close to the victims initially, and that's absolutely correct. But my sense might be that this is somebody that's really not in their inner circle, but we'll have to see.
Okay, so you're shifting your analysis. Do you think, even though the police have stressed that this is ongoing, it's going to take some time, how are they shifting the investigation, do you think, based on this new information?
Well, I would hope they're shifting it to looking at, after moving beyond immediate contacts, in other words, other college students, basically, boyfriends, girlfriends, etc., is that who else do they have relationships with? People, adults on campus, people in the community, because you're going to actually have to start spreading out to people that they may have had just a casual relationship with. Because this person didn't just show up in this house and commit this act. He went there to do specifically what he had done. And it's so clear to me that he really knew what he was doing, just based on the time alone, as I mentioned to you earlier.
All right, Brad Garrett, thank you. I know we'll be checking back with you from time to time, and hopefully they do have some solid leads because the families of those 4 victims can only imagine what they're going through right now. Brad, thank you.
Well, hey there, and see, guys, that goes back to say that I truly believe that these people was in the house already, or they knew what they was coming for. But if there's people downstairs in the basement partying already, because now they're saying the 2 survivors was actually in the basement. And then they go on to say there was actually partying in the basement while this was going on. That's how come the other people was in the basement actually found the people unconscious, quote unquote, with the other people. That's whenever the 911 call was made, is because everybody called 911. That's the reason why there was multiple 911 calls made. It just doesn't make sense, guys. So I believe there was 2 killers that did this. Totally. It makes sense. But they can't even find a knife. So where does that put the killings at? But now they're talking about a next door neighbor they're looking into. So could it be a neighbor? Somebody's been in this house before. They knew the layout. She had a stalker 2 months ago that she reported to her school, her college, her professor. So could this have been some kind of jealousy? I believe it was something. I don't believe the killer. I don't believe this person just seen a whole bunch of people and just wanted to kill the people. I believe these people was jealous of something. That's the reason why the people was killed and the 2 survivors was someone that not even interest to this killer. And who knows? Maybe this killer done this before. I mean, the killer came in and done what he did and left, and they don't have a knife. They don't even have a footprint of blood on it of this person's shoe. I mean, it goes on to say, whoever did this killing to these 4 college students did it very well. It's scary because that goes as he did it before. Anyways, guys, parties are killed, drugs, parents, a rush woman are being sold. Oklahoma. Yes, very much so. Jasmine, how's it going, Jasmine? Nice to see you. B-Bent 810. Wow. That's a lot of, yes. You guys, I haven't seen that and I don't want to see that. So I'm not going to go to there. I've heard him talk about that's enough for me. I do too. It makes more sense that there was 2 people. Didn't the guy at food truck speak to another guy at food truck? Guys, let's go look at that. Let's go look at that food truck cam footage. Let's go look at that. So, or students, food truck. Okay, here we go. So this is the knife that they're saying that was actually used. Let's go ahead and watch this one. Then we'll go to the food truck.
Were the 4 college kids brutally murdered with a knife like this one? It's called a Rambo knife. It's got a 7-inch long blade. You can see part of this steel blade is serrated. Detectives have been going to sporting good and other stores in the area to ask if they sold a brand like this made by K-Bar. The actual murder weapon has not been found, and police are searching dumpsters, hoping to find it. The mystery deepened when police revealed the shocking information that 2 other roommates were inside the house when the 4 students were slaughtered. Published reports identified the roommates as Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk, both 21. Have they lawyered up? Are they concerned about being questioned? Are they cooperating?
It's my understanding that they're fully cooperative with investigators.
The local police chief says cops weren't called until 9 hours after the murders.
You have surviving witnesses to an incident at 3 or 4 in the morning, and the 911 call didn't come until noon.
I don't think I ever said that they were witnesses. I said they were there. So, you know, we don't know why that call came in at noon and not in the middle of the night. Well, I'm not going to go into what they shared that night.
This is the house where the murders took place. There's a keypad lock on the front door, but friends say many people knew the code. Around the back of the house is a sliding door, which may have been unlocked. The house is large, 6 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Police aren't saying where in the house the 4 bodies were found. In a day of fast-paced developments, the manager of a food truck popular with students says he remembers victims Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mogan ordering food at 1:30 a.m. Sunday. That's only about 2 hours before they were murdered. He also noticed a man who appeared to be watching them, as seen in this video.
Seems like a guy arrives similar to the same time that they do. It seems like he almost looks exactly at the camera and then puts a hat on, pulls his hood up, and then starts moving.
Okay, but this guy right here has actually been cleared, they said. But who was the Jack that they called frantically before they was murdered? Who was that guy? So if they called a guy named Jack Frank like hysterically, like they was afraid, why didn't they go downstairs to the people who's in the basement? If they was worried about something, would they went downstairs, guys? It is super sus. It's crazy. So you have them arriving at home, guys. An hour and 2 hours and 45 minutes later, quote unquote, they're murdered. But you're telling me they didn't go downstairs and talk to the downstairs, the people, the survivors of downstairs? It's crazy. And then the car that they rode home on from this food truck was a private driver, not an Uber driver. It was a private driver for them. It doesn't, Jasmine. It totally does not add up. Long Gone says, hey, was the ex-boyfriend of one of them put there, we're getting back together? I don't know. That's not been said neither. So it's really crazy. Because I just thought about that, guys. If there's survivors downstairs in the basement now, they're saying, these girls and the guy came home and didn't even say anything to the people downstairs. 45 minutes later, they was stabbed to death. And the survivors downstairs heard nothing. I think there's a lot more that's going to come out of this case, guys. I totally do. There's so much more to this case, guys, that we're going to find out. It's going to uncover. And whoever done this needs to be put away for life, forever. But anyways, guys, let's go on to let's go ahead and answer a few questions. Let's move to the video. What if the girl called Jack over and over because they hear her friends being murdered and hiding and freak out? Well, it wasn't the survivors. It was actually I think it was both girls. 2 girls called Jack. So it was either 2 girls upstairs or there was the girl, but the second floor was actually the guy and the girl. So I don't know. Could jealousy gotten away of all this stuff? It's got to be something like that, guys. Hi, everyone. Nada, how's it going? Amanda says, hi. Why call Jack instead of 911? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Was there something that they knew about? Was there something they was afraid about? Did they want somebody, a male, to come maybe comfort them upstairs? The 2 friends upstairs? Like, comfort them as like protect them from something, guys? The killer come in with motive, knew exactly what he was going to do, and left. The killers, I believe. The Queen says, that's a good question, Rose. Barbie says, he never ordered food And he didn't know. This guy never ordered food. He showed up with them, and then the two girls leave, and then he leaves. He never ordered food, got in the car to go home. The guy said that to them, and they walked away. Something isn't right. And there isn't. Something's not right with this whole situation. Okay, so, UK, she's apparently left her ex a voice message, and it was about their dog after trying to ring him. Okay, that makes sense. I think everyone were calling because wanted a booty call or weed guy buzz. Okay, I mean, they could have. They very well could have, guys. Natty says at the moment before leaving, she was pointing to him. Yes, I think she was, and he was like, "Where are you going?" Like he was supposed to went home with them or something, guys. But he's actually been cleared now from the cops, so they say. But he's the one that's shown in a hunting video with the elk that actually had that knife too, that matches the other knife, as what they're calling the Rambo knife, guys. The Queen says, Barbie, I heard the last night, and I wondered as well. Yes, guys. There's so much stuff to this case. Let's go ahead and move on with the video.
Went off to the side and then is hanging around the truck, seems interested in them, and then leaves around the same time that they leave.
Police have not named any suspects, but are walking back their controversial claim that there is no threat to other students at the University of Idaho.
We cannot say that there's no threat to the community. And as we have stated, please stay vigilant, report any suspicious activity, and be aware of your surroundings at all times.
A handful of students held a vigil at the campus gates last night. Many have fled the campus.
Please stand and join us in a moment of silence.
The slain were also remembered at a University of Idaho basketball game last night. Kaylee Consalvas' sister, Autumn, warned other students to leave. If he is sick enough to murder 4 sweet, innocent humans so brutally, he's sick enough to do it to anyone.
And that is 100%, guys. Well, who else is he going to do this to? If we don't catch him, what is going to happen? Is he going to move on to different people? Is he going to brutally stab and brutally murder the next person? I mean, at this point in time, he's killed 4 people, so therefore he's a serial killer at this point in time. So, yeah, guys, it's gross. It's a tragedy. It's sad. I mean, that this world could just be okay with just going in and brutally stabbing 4 people. For what? What was their motive? And we could talk about motives all day. Was their motive one of those type things that, well, if you can't have her, no one's going to have her? Is that what it was, maybe? It's so crazy. I mean, motives, we can go on about motives all day. But anyways, guys, let's go look for this truck footage real quick. Let's go back. Okay. See if there's anything else. That was 6 days ago. Let's see here. I'm trying to find some of the newest stuff. Let's go ahead and watch this one.
Found. He is breaking down the latest on the investigation from what Moscow PD shared with us earlier this afternoon.
She is joining us live right now with more on what the police chief had to say. She's also breaking down some new video that was released today showing at least 2 of the victims just hours before police say they were killed. Amanda, what have we learned today?
Well, we've learned a lot this afternoon. First off, the Moscow police chief says all 4 victims were stabbed, but the knife or weapon used has still not been found. And police say there was no sign of forced entry into the home, but they did say the door was still open when police arrived. Most importantly, though, tonight, police do not have a suspect at this time, but they are actively searching for one. Moscow Police Chief James Fry, University of Idaho President Scott Green, and the Director of Idaho State Police, Colonel Kendrick Wills, all spoke at today's press conference. Before Wednesday's press conference, Moscow police had only told the public the 4 students were found dead inside the home late Sunday morning. Wednesday, they revealed that all 4 victims were stabbed to death. Chief Fry says 2 other roommates were at the home during the attack, but were not injured, and he is not calling them witnesses. He said they were also home when police arrived at the house. Fry did not say why the call to police was not until noon on Sunday, when the attack happened in the early morning hours. Police said it appeared to be a targeted attack, but did not explain why. Moscow police have also been saying that they do not believe there is an ongoing threat to the community. But today, the tone changed. Police say the search for a suspect continues and people should look out for each other. Meantime, we found this video from a Moscow food truck that's from early Sunday morning. It shows 2 of the students, Kaylee and Maddie.
See, guys, when I first seen this video, I thought that maybe they got poisoned because they were showing the workers inside the truck as well, guys. So I thought maybe they got poisoned or something. This is before I knew anything about this case, okay? So my speculations went on to, well, did they get poisoned? But then it went on that said they was stabbed. So I was like, okay, well, they was stabbed. And there's some YouTubers that's done videos on this is like 14 hours, guys. Breaking down this video footage and everything else. I mean, but what I would say is this. The guy with the hood has been released as a suspect. I'm sure every one of these people has probably been questioned and everything else. But now that, like I said, they're talking about a next door neighbor that they are looking into. But it just seems too close for that. You know what I'm saying? It just seems way too close for a next door neighbor to be the killer. I don't think so. And as far as the dog getting skinned and everything, I have no idea about that, guys. My daughter is 21 and lives with me. University is half hour from home. Wow. That's close, guys. That is close. So Nada says this is terrifying. It is terrifying. 100%. We have 4 college students brutally stabbed, and the people downstairs in the basement didn't hear a thing. And they was home the whole night and didn't call it in until 12 o'clock the next day. Whenever the stabbings took place at what, like 3 o'clock? Because they arrived home at like 1:45. The killer had to have left something behind. Bloody footprint. Something. But they can't even find a knife. They've even looked at trash cans all through the neighborhood and can't find anything. Nothing. So did this killer have they did this before is my question. That's my question to this. Has the killer done this before? Anyways, guys, let's continue with the video.
Ordering food around 1:40 a.m. This is one of the last times they were seen. Moscow police say this video is helping investigators recreate a timeline of events from that night.
And it has helped. It gives us a time and space where we know that 2 of our victims were, and that helps us a ton, and we'll continue to follow up all leads that we can.
The family of Kaylee Gonsalves have seen the video and agreed to let us publish it. They identified Maddie Mogan wearing the long black jacket and Kaylee, who is with her, in the white sweatshirt.
It's normally a place where everyone feels really safe.
Joseph Woodall is the manager of the grub truck. He is seen in the video working the cash register, taking the girl's order. This afternoon, he described their interaction with me.
One of the blondes was just a little bit more cheery and kind of bouncing around a little bit more. And then one was like standing there and doing the hello, how are you? And goes through the interactions. And normally that's pretty normal. In most of our groups, there's people that are more energetic and people that are managing the energetic people.
Joseph told me he felt incredibly sad when he learned the news about the girls he had just seen the other night.
Hope they find the person. Hope they get the person.
Now, just a couple hours ago, the Chief Fry, also admitted he should have been standing in front of the public, in front of the media, addressing our questions earlier. But he says, I'm here now, I'm here today. And he says investigators are currently working diligently to get answers. In fact, moving forward, we were told in this press conference that all future updates on this homicide investigation will come from the Idaho State Police. Reporting in Moscow tonight, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Guys, it is scary. 100% scary, guys. I mean, we still have this killer on the loose in Moscow. Or killers. And yeah, the dog was actually a white poodle, labradoodle, whatever you want to call it. That was actually their dog and never barked neither. So it begs the question is, did the dog know who these people was that actually entered the home? Because you know, if a dog doesn't know who you are, most generally you're going to have a dog bark. It's going to happen. So, and this killer went in, did what he needed to do, and got out. Killers, I do believe. That's how come they got out and no one heard really a thing. But I find it hard to believe, but you're going to hear walking, guys. So a thump sounds a lot like, you know, walking, but there had to have been a scream through this whole thing that somebody had to have heard. There just had to have. So B-Bent says that's why I sleep with my, yes, 100%. Barbie Watson says, hey, Shade. Sandra says, deuces, or anyone in the chat hear about the students who was in ROTC at the university, not sure connection, and students knew the, you guys look, there may be actually a connection to all this stuff. This killer may actually be a serial killer. He's already killed 4. They've already killed 4. So if there's maybe it's just him. I just find it hard to believe that one person can kill 4 people and no one heard nothing. No one's seen nothing. No neighbors seen someone walk out all bloody. There had to have been blood on the killer or killers. There had to have been, guys. So, I mean, it just goes to say that this killer may be on the loose now. I mean, the cops said at the first press conference that they didn't think the killer was actually there anymore. So, and now they go on to say that they're, you know, you can stay home from college if you want, and, you know, protecting the town. But how are they really protecting the town? If you can't find the killer, if you can't even find the killer's weapon, then how are you going to protect the students? How are you going to protect the town? So, yeah, I mean, Rose goes on to say, let's see here. Rose goes on to say, thanks, deuces. I'll be listening. Got to get back to cooking. And such happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Rose. You have a happy Thanksgiving as well. Yeah, I did. Jasmine says, happy Thanksgiving, Rose. I thought serial killer from the start. Yes, and it is 100% maybe actually serial killer, guys. At Sandra, yes, Jasmine. Happy Thanksgiving. Shade Darker says, like I said, it's possible. It's very possible, Shade Darker. Jasmine says, Manor 2. Yes, this is different rooms. Shade Darker. Strategy. So that has a strategy. Yeah, it does. There's a strategy behind it. They went in, they knew what they was doing, and they got it done, and they left. It's sad because that's a very dangerous person that's on the loose. And we don't even got a knife, guys. We don't got a footprint. It's crazy. Why did the girls call their friends instead of 911? Well, it goes to say that the survivors was actually downstairs in the basement now. So there was going to say there was people in the basement with the 2 survivors as well. That's how, when they walked upstairs, they found the incoherent person of the frantic 911 calls. That's the reason why there was more than one 911 call coming in at the same time. That's what the police said. Dana Ben, thank you, Jasmine. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, so guys, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. It's crazy. I don't know what to say really about it anymore. Besides, this killer is on the loose and we need to find him. I went to the gas station today, guys, and I actually seen 2 younger people out there, and I walked out and they was like, hey, do you want to donate something for human trafficking? And I was like, hey, I could talk to you a little bit about this. And I sit there and I talked to him about it, guys. I told him about the Kylie Rodney case and everything else. And these people that was selling this stuff had no idea about half of what I was talking about. It's like, so you're supporting, you're raising money for this, but you don't know anything really about what's going on. It was crazy. There's definitely more to the ROTC part. The ROTC part, what do you talk about? Hello from South Dakota. Hello, South Dakota. How's it going? I bet you it's cold there. Jasmine, I really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to start doing this maybe 2 times a day, guys, with you guys. So plus I'm going to still release my reactions, but this is going to be something I do every day. Shay Darker says, I was thinking 2 people, but I think we can't rule out a solo. 100%, because who's going to trust each other in this? I talked about it last night. Usually in a position like this, if there's more than one person, the other killer ends up either saying something or they end up doing away with each other because they're afraid of one person saying something. But then the other person that actually does away with the other person usually goes on to talk about how and brags about something. That's what a serial killer does. Look at the B2K killer, guys. Decoding stuff, sending hairs, pictures. You know, it's crazy. So they broke news about the cops looking at ROTC, possible students, possibly where the weapon came from. Yes, I did see that, actually. That is crazy. I appreciate you too, brother. Jasmine, you're always welcome here, girl, for real. Hi, Bare Bones. Krieger Mariah. How's it going, Krieger Mariah? I've actually seen some of your videos. She says, hi, Bare Bones. I'm bumping church, new music, making peanut butter balls. I want some peanut butter balls. Actually, I want some chocolate no-bake cookies, homemade. That's what I want. And I'll be happy. HBR at the crossroads. Barbie Watson says, love the lives. We are good. We are a good thing here. My online family. Yes, you guys are my online family. Guys, this is what I'd love to do. I love to do this with you guys, and I will continue to do this with you guys. Even if we only had 2 viewers, I would still be doing this with you guys. Hey, Krieger Mariah. Krieger Mariah says hello, or Amanda. Here we go. Jasmine says trafficking is rife. Anyone could be connected, but not implicated. The thing that students out to me is for being murdered. Okay. Trafficking is rife and could be connected, but not implicated. The thing that stands out to me is for being murdered is crazy, guys. We have 4 people murdered with people in the basement. And no one heard a thing. But they next day at 12 o'clock or 11 a.m. the next day, they walk up and they find him unconscious. Just doesn't make sense, guys. Peanut butter balls. Okay, I'll get on it. Hey everyone. Yes, I'm everywhere. Good to see you, Krieger Mariah. Krieger, are you I like your videos. Yes, I've seen a couple of your videos myself. At Bear Browns, we should collab sometime. I would be down for that, Krieger Mariah. So hit me up. I follow you on Instagram, I do believe. So just hit me up on Instagram in a private message and we'll talk about that. Sorry, it's sent without finishing. It's good. Hey, Jasmine, it's good. Shade Darker, I woke up at noon. Yeah, we was up, until 3 o'clock last night doing a live. I think we was almost 5 hours into a live. The Queen, they aren't sure who was the killer first yet. No, they're not. And that's what's so scary, guys. 4 being murdered is exact same manner as 2 being. Yeah. It's crazy, guys. To see you. Okay, cool, Krieger Mariah. You can tell a person is dead. Well, guys, you could tell a person is dead because they've been brutally stabbed. They had to seen there was blood leaking out the side of the house. I mean, and then yeah, the dog was there. It was terrible, guys. This would have been horrific. Like I said, the police station goes on to say this was the most horrific crime scene they've seen in their careers. So, but yes, so let's go on to actually see if we can find something different here, guys. So 5 days ago, let's see the newest thing we actually find here. Let's watch this.
Kathy, with a C, Mabbutt, M-A-B-B-U-T-T.
And I'm going to ask you, how long have you been doing this for?
I've been doing it for 16 years, and I just got reelected for another 4.
So what is it that, or I guess, when did you get the call on Sunday?
I got the call just a few minutes after noon that there were 4 homicides, but I didn't go to the scene because of law enforcement doing their investigation first. So I didn't actually go to the scene until about 5 or 5:30.
Can you walk us through, like, for our viewers, kind of the process between when police show up and then you guys getting the bodies and doing your examinations?
Sure. Well, law enforcement goes through and looks for any evidence, takes videos and pictures of everything in there, and they'll start talking with people. So I don't really need to be there for that. They can't move the bodies. I mean, the bodies have to stay as they were until the coroner gets there. So that's what my job is, to look at the bodies.
As a coroner, do you guys do the autopsies and all that?
No, we some do if they're an actual medical examiner, but we have forensic pathologists and we contract with Spokane to do that.
So in your experience, what is it that you saw when you showed up?
Well, there was a lot of blood. It was a very sad scene with 4 murdered college students.
You're running all 4 deaths on sites?
Yes.
And can you give us a manner of death? Yeah.
I believe that the press release was that they were from a sharp object. So
stabbings.
Yeah, I will know more after the autopsies tomorrow.
And do you believe this could be a...
And keep it in mind, guys, the autopsy's already been done. So this was actually before that, but this gives us an insight of what she's talking about as far as the killings go. So
like a murder suicide or
no, there are 4 homicides.
And
when it comes to doing the investigation post autopsy, that falls on you, correct?
Yes, it's my job to determine the manner and mechanism of death.
And then I know with toxicology results, there can often be, at least in Washington, a delay. So do you have any idea how long it could take if those were relevant to get any type of results back on that?
Well, the toxicology reports, right, they usually take 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes longer. But they might, I don't think they're going to be relevant in the actual manner or cause of death.
And do we know how long between the time of death and when police found them, approximately?
No, I don't know for sure.
Do we have like any, like, could it have been hours? Could it have been a day? Was it maybe close? Like, is there any sort of like time frame there?
Not that I'm aware of.
And you said the scene was.
So they did call mind you, this is a little before all the information. So they did call the police, and the police showed up around 12 o'clock the following day, guys. So Jasmine says that's a bold statement, not thinking the toxicology will be revealing. Yes, it is. And she goes on to confirm that it is a Rambo-style knife that actually killed the 4 students. And then she also goes on to say that she's not for sure whether the same knife was actually was used. She said there could have been 2 different knives being used in the newer statement. So it's wishy-washy, guys. So keep in mind, this is before the autopsies and stuff. So let's go ahead and continue.
Difficult. I mean, is this something you've had to deal with before in Moscow?
Since I've been coroner, there have been at least 2 other multiple homicide scenes that I've been involved in. So.
Would you say this is probably the most gruesome?
Oh, it's hard to just single it out. It's the only one I've been to where there have been 4 people at one scene. There have been the other ones have had multiple scenes.
And was anybody else injured, like any non-deceased people?
Not that I'm aware of, but I wouldn't necessarily be notified either.
Okay. I didn't know if that was like because the injuries could be similar to matter to you.
Oh, right.
Were the deceased all in close proximity to each other, or were they in different rooms?
I don't know that I can discuss that.
My next question too. So. I think, yeah.
Will we be able to get a copy of your report once it's completed? I'm sure it'll be.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Just call.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So we do know that they was all in different rooms, guys. 3rd floor, 2nd floor, and basement now. So we know all that stuff. So what else is going to come forward with this situation? We have 4 people murdered. Now they go on to say that there may not have been the same knife. In newer toxicology reports, stab wound saying it's a Rambo-style knife. So I look for this case to blow totally up, guys. I think it's really going to. And the funny thing about this is, or not the funny thing, but the thing about this is this case just gained more publicity with news stations, a wider audience, or shall I say broader audience. I mean, it's gonna blow up. We don't know. We don't even know who the killer is, guys. We don't. And it's scary. It's a scary thing. But anyways, guys, I'm actually going to jump off of here right now. I will be back on tonight about 9 Central Time. So if you guys want to come back at 9 Central Time, I will have something we'll talk about this stuff. We'll have open panel. We can watch videos together. We can do all that stuff together tonight at 9 Central Time, my time. Peace out. Yes. Thank you, Jasmine. Hi, deuces. Hello, Socks. Sorry, I'm getting ready to end this, but I will be back at 9 Central tonight. and we'll do the same thing. Maybe we can catch some live police chases and we can talk about it on panel. So yes, it is going to be fun tonight. So 9 Central tonight, come back and join us, guys. Bare Bones family, we're here and we're here to stay, guys. Let's deuces a chat. Have a good rest of your afternoon. Yes, I'm actually going to go put up a Christmas tree, guys. So yes, so yeah. Have a great afternoon. I'll be there. Sweet. I look for everybody to be there. Yes. Have a nice day. Okay. Yes, Jay Darker for sure. Like I said, there will be an open panel tonight, and we will be doing the same stuff. I'll pick some different videos to go over. Maybe we'll actually cover the Shanquilla case, guys. So I don't want to say too much about that, but that is a crazy one too. So anyways, look up the Shanquilla case, do your research, and we'll actually watch that. We'll actually talk about that one a little bit tonight too. Yes, Rebel Nation for sure. Lots of fun stuff, dudes. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys. Anyways, guys, I'm actually going to jump out of here and everything. But thank you guys. 9 o'clock Central Time tonight. We'll go over a bunch more stuff. And so the tree I'm just removed earlier, it had snow all over it. So now I probably think I have dandruff, which I don't really care, guys. Anyways, guys, thank you guys. Your boy Deuces is out. Thank you. 9 o'clock tonight, Central Time. Be back here. Same channel, same spot. But first, love yourself, like yourself, be nothing but yourself, like, subscribe to the channel, guys. Thank you. Have a great day. 9 o'clock Central. See ya.